Under contract. It's hard to take someone seriously when they start talking, no yelling about magic wood and green butterflies. We live in a small town and like most introverts, we keep to ourselves, but as towns grow, curious little shops drift in overnight as if they just float in on the morning fog. A friend of mine runs a local comic and card shop that appeals to many of the younger parties that don't care much for the music stores and sadly the local bookstores. Like many towns, if it gets around you're selling magical items and or so-called magic books, you disappear as soon as you open the door. This also goes for tattoo shops and adult video houses. Places like this are pushed to the cliffs of town in hopes of failure. I was able to catch the police chief saying once, "If the businesses catch fire they will be burnt down before the fire trucks can get to them, problem shoveled in the growing pile of crap of trouble I must deal with on a daily basis." The way I look at it, problem solved our city leaders as well as the monkeys that kept the gears lubed. Didn't care much for you if you were different. For years, I have said be as you are, that is as long as you don't hurt others. I just don't see the harm. But, sometimes a store slips through the cracks. At the beginning of Main Street was a beautiful old Victorian house that had once belonged to a very sinister and crazy doctor. The house and this story eerily remind of an old Stephen King story called Needful Things, or at the very least the movie. The house was a spitting image of the house and the description he used, as well as the events that followed. The city had decreed that it would be good to offer the old property to business owners from out of state. As soon as the for sale sign was staked into the ground, another sign went up over the other saying under contract. Over the weeks people came and went. Large crates went in and a lonely sign hung in the window that read closed. I admit I was curious, like any other people I guess. I found reasons to go by there either on the bus or in the car. I was tired of the local cells and the people and longed for something new. Small towns have a way of doing that to you, you move to one to get away from new things, but in the end, long for new ones. The house is located directly across from a chiropractor's office. That day I was coming back from the store and the bus driver had a pickup there. We have older drivers here in our little town, many of which are retired police officers or cab drivers from another time. This was a new driver and as he pulled in a large white cat darted out in front of the bus. He went left when he should have gone right, slamming into a car in the parking lot of the chiropractor's office. No one was hurt, but we all have some time to kill. As a replacement bus must be sent out and a guy from the head office had to come out, take pictures and smooth everything over with any way that was hoping they could use this as a way to sue. Funny how healthy people will grab their necks as soon as you nick a car? Simple things like this show you how money, or at least the idea of it, can turn people evil in a heartbeat. I left my stuff on the bus, stepping out with the rest of the locals. Just as I was about to find a place to sit down beside a younger red-headed woman that was holding the back of her neck, I spotted a black man across the street hanging a sign above the steps of the old doctor's house. I started walking over. After all, this was a chance to answer a few of my longing questions. The bus driver, who looked like he had a bunch on his plate, asked me where I was going. I pointed to the house and said, "Just yell at me when we're ready to go." By the time I made it to the porch of the old house, the black man was sitting in an old rocker and beside him was 2 cups of what I thought was coffee. He was a well-dressed individual, adorned with gold wire-rimmed glasses and a pipe. He took a puff from the pipe. The tobacco was strong with hints of old wine. The old man made the first move, saying, "Take a seat, you're going to be here for a minute." His voice and manner of speaking reminded me of the people I had met during Katrina down in Louisiana. As I grabbed the seat, he pushed the coffee over with the end of his pipe. I found I was asking what he was smoking. He quickly offered an answer: "Is a type of tobacco from St. James Parish, Louisiana, known for its strong, powerful, and fruity aroma." When the Acadians made their way into this region in 1776, the Choctaw and Chickasaw tribes were cultivating a variety of tobacco with a distinctive flavor. A farmer named Pierre Chenet is credited with first turning this local tobacco into what is now known as perique in 1824 through the labor-intensive technique of pressure fermentation. He was a dirty man but made some great smoke. If he caught you stealing his tobacco, he would take tobacco stakes and tie you to them out in the fields, letting the wild hogs have their way with you. So you opening a tobacco shop? I asked. Lord no, he started as he blew smoke rings and then went on after he took a drink of coffee. Good stuff makes your mind crisp. I am opening something every town needs, a little shop of curiosities. He then pointed to the sign. In dark red letters, it spelled out morbid curiosities. And then he spoke, every man, woman, and child has a dark side, ingress of a passing mental thought that shocks them and maybe makes them smile. I offer things they need, sometimes they don't know they need it until they need it. I took a drink of the coffee, it still felt hot but was extremely bitter. As I set the cup back down, to his left was the white cat that caused me to be here. Just then the bus driver yelled over and said they were ready to go. Looking disappointed, I said it looks like I got to head home, but I didn't catch your name. No worries, come back in a few days and I will have what you need, and the name is Reverend Snake Jones, as if someone turned on a water hose. The rain started to fall and the thunder clapped. Laughing, the black man said, go catch your bus, boy. The rain is tears from one of my old ladies, they cry a lot when I move to a new town, that and find another wife. I started to run toward the bus, as the warm rain soaked my shirt, hearing the man from the house saying, be sure to come back, I got something special for you. Something special indeed it was.